Checking prostates.
What?
That's, I don't know.
Dan's running a clinic over there.
During quarantine? Quarantine is what he's calling it.
Oh my God. Why don't you guys butt out of this conversation?
Oh, boy.
All right. Listen, asshole.
Colon.
He's asking for it.
Oh.
Very cheeky.
Okay.
Oh my God.
All right. That's not a good start.
Nope.
Welcome to episode 2 of a Top 5 podcast. I'm Mike.
I'm Dan.
And I'm also Dan.
First of all, we want to thank everybody for the awesome support you guys showed for episode 1. We're having a lot of fun doing this stuff, and we hope we get the same kind of feedback from episode 2. As we talked about in episode 1, we're going to be having guests on the show, and today we have a guest for you.
Yeah, so all of our buddy Tyler, we went back to high school is when we became friends. We're going to bring him in later in the show. I also wanted to recap a little bit to back to episode 1. We got a lot of feedback and everything on social media, whether it was roasting us for the chips that we picked or taking sides or adding ones that we didn't think of. Our buddy Johnny Canuser, he threw out what were those? Salsitas? Salsitas. I've never seen those before. But
I think I've had those.
He called them as number 1, so I got to give those a try.
It's normally a vending machine chip, if I think correctly, because we have them at my work, and trying to be good on a diet is terrible when you have those in there because they are absolutely delicious.
If I recall, they're pretty spicy, aren't they?
They have a little bit of heat.
Yeah.
It's like a salsa dusted tortilla chip, like a tortilla round.
It is.
Okay. Yeah, so we appreciate all the feedback on the socials. It's been a lot of fun interacting with everybody after episode 1. Again, we're just having a ton of fun doing this. And as a reminder, we are having a guest. We're going to go over our top 5 lists of the week, but we're also going to require our guests to go over their top 5 chips. So that's why we're bringing up the chips again here.
That's correct.
Anyway, I think we're going to toss it over to our news correspondent, Mike here. Mike, you got some news for us?
Yeah, I looked up another story today, another odd story. This one comes to us from Australia.
Okay.
Down under.
Yeah, down under, where a man won nearly $800,000 on the lottery. He bought the ticket by mistake. He meant to play another game. Bought this ticket by mistake, and he won $800,000 on that ticket.
Is he going to use those winnings to go double or nothing, rock, paper, scissors with his buddy?
I don't think so. I think he said he was going to pay off his mortgage.
Okay.
Which is what I was going to ask you guys. If you accidentally won that kind of money, what's the first thing you're buying?
First of all,
hold on.
that's very responsible.
Well, yeah. And who knows if he's going to do that?
Yeah, he might just be saying that. I want to know what other game he was trying to play when he accidentally won.
I'm thinking of maybe like he meant to play like the Missouri lottery, but instead he bought a Powerball, something like that.
Okay, meant to play Keno, but he accidentally played Powerball.
I don't know the Australian rules.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know what I would do with $800,000.
First thing you're buying, hit me, or paying off.
Probably the house. I think that's a really good. That's a good way to do it.
That's smart.
No mortgage at all.
I do like that idea, paying off your debt. But then beyond that, man, what do you do?
You're buying a tiger, aren't you?
Call you Tiger King.
Oh man, what would you buy, Mike?
Man, I think I'm going to take a trip. I've never been out of the country. I want to go on an all-inclusive. And if I could spend some good money and do it up pretty big.
Are you bringing us along or?
Oh, God, no.
Oh.
I have
I
fun.
really thought you were going, oh, God, yes. And then there's the turn right there.
No.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. I think I would pay for all my buddies to go. That would be a fun trip.
Trip is good.
So not dock rating.
No.
I said buddies.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Just making sure.
I think I would pay off my debt because the Lannister pays his debts.
They do say that.
I don't even know why I said that. I don't even like the Lannisters. But then I think I'd buy a vacation house somewhere. Maybe two vacation houses. They don't have to be big. Maybe someplace in the mountains for skiing in the winter and someplace on a beach for summertime.
He's going skiing, boys.
He's going skiing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd probably get a lake house, I think.
Lake house, like Lake of the Ozarks?
A little busy for me. Maybe like Table Rock, a little less busy. Big
Go back
lake.
to Theodosia?
Oh my God. I'd build my own house.
It's a good spot.
So I'm curious this week. I'm curious to see who's the winner for the Bad People game because Dan had the clean sweep
Listen,
3-0 last week.
Let's not bring it
Yeah.
up, okay? We got a clean slate this week.
Wait, hold on. Let's talk about that. Clean
No, we don't have to
slate,
talk about it.
clean slate, or do we just build up? The
You want to make like
points?
running totals?
Like a rack the tally up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's
I like
toss
the
it
idea.
around. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see how many I don't get this week, and then we'll talk about it.
Okay.
Okay. So if he doesn't win a card, does it deduct one from his or just keep?
Nope.
Okay.
Only wins count.
Okay.
Add
All
it
right.
up.
Well, then let's jump into it.
Let's jump
This
into
week-
those cards.
This week's first card. Most likely to give a drunk train wreck speech at a wedding.
Whoa.
Out of the three of us.
I'm gonna go with the most outgoing. I'm gonna go with Dan.
Damn it.
Not because I think it's realistic that he does it, but just because he's the most outgoing. I think he gets a little liquid courage in him. Give me that microphone. I got something to say.
I'll give one.
And I'm gonna kind of piggyback off that. And I'm not just doing this because I want you to win another card.
Here we go. All right.
I think
This game.
you hit it pretty hard on the bus
Mm.
between the wedding and the reception. You hit it pretty hard. You like to have a good time.
I do
might-
like to have a good
You
time.
might come in, a little intoxicated, but
A little sauced up.
yeah, and you're gonna give them a piece of your mind is what you're gonna do. You're gonna make the bride upset. That's what's gonna happen.
Okay, well, great. Now here's another card for Dan. I guess I'm going Mike. Also likes to drink on the bus. I've been on a couple party buses with both of you. And I think Mike may tip the can a little bit heavier.
Wow.
So I'm gonna
Loosens you up a little bit for the dance
It,
floor.
it does loosen you up. It's
You don't dance though, do you?
Well, not an animal.
so yeah. I'm gonna pick Mikey on this one, I guess.
All right,
All
fair
right.
enough.
4-0.
That might be the first one I've gotten. I didn't win the card, but I think that might be the first one I was picked on.
Really?
I think so. I think you guys went back and forth.
You are the one picking the cards here. Maybe we need to switch that.
Well, that's true. All right. In their lifetime, who will most likely need a liver transplant? Sticking with the
Got
drinking
mine.
theme.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick Mike. You enjoy your natural lights. You're not
It's
drinking
light,
one
though.
right now, are you?
No.
Yeah, I mean, and you like hanging out up at Ethel's and
That I do.
back. Yeah, I'll pick Mike.
I'm also going to pick Mike here.
Ooh, my first card.
He is almost he is a full-blown regular at Ethel's, and it's almost when you go there with him, it's like you walked in the bar with Norm from Cheers.
Appreciate
Everybody knows his name, and everybody says hi to him. So with that being said, I think it's got to be Mike.
He's just a solid fella.
that. That's true.
He sure is.
Wow. Face like this, you're going to get a lot of hellos.
Easy.
If I had to pick, I'm going to go Dan Bortz here. I think I think you indulge more than Danny D does.
Maybe on
This,
occasion.
this is when it pays off to be very private with your personal life.
That's true. Or maybe it's just that I'm around you more. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I see it that way. So I'm going to go with Dan there.
Cool.
All right. And our final card. Who will be the most difficult old person to be around?
Oh man, that's interesting.
I think I got it.
Difficult
us.
old person to be around. Yeah, go ahead, Dan.
I think I'm going to go with Danny D here.
Yeah.
Reason being, oh boy, that's tough.
Amanda, go ahead and tune out on this one.
No, I think you tell it like it is. Whereas Mikey's more of a quieter, doesn't really. He's more relaxed. I think you more tell it how it is, and I think that's probably going to increase with the old age.
Oh, like as direct as I am now, I'll be even more direct and say
Correct.
whatever I'm thinking. Okay.
Like a
Correct.
fine wine, Dan.
Like a fine, you grow with age.
Mhm.
So
What?
I think So I think it's going to be a little more direct as you get older.
Okay.
So there's my pick. Sorry.
I'm also going to go Danny D here.
I won.
I could see you being a get the hell off my lawn kind of old man.
Mhm.
You damn kids.
I feel like you will just, fertilize your yard. You'll sit on the front porch with a lemonade and yell at kids.
I'm gonna go Dan Bortz here. He had
Appreciate
back
that.
surgery in his 20s.
So just judging on we don't want to be around you because you're broken.
Oh man.
You're gonna maybe have a hard time getting around. Your wife's gonna have
Okay.
to push you around in the wheelchair.
That could be.
Your hover around, something like that.
Oh man, I'd love a hover around.
I take
Easy.
one now. Why wait?
It's your wife.
Hey. All right, that was pretty good. I like that.
We all want a card this week.
We did.
One
Wow.
for each of us. That's not too bad.
So the running. Thanks for bringing that up. So the running total is Dan
4.
Schwartz, you've got 4, and Mike and I each have 1.
1-1.
So we'll keep that going. So I think we're gonna move right into bringing a guest in here. Like we mentioned before, we're gonna bring in my buddy Tyler. We go back to high school. We've always played music together, had those bonded over sports, things like that. So let's go ahead and bring Tyler in now, and see what he's up to. Time for him to contribute.
Yeah.
So
Give
hey,
us some love.
Tyler, what's up, man?
Welcome in, Tyler. How you doing, Tyler?
What's going on?
That was one of the more stressful experiences of my life. Like I just kept expecting the camera to come on like mid sneeze or like some sort of
He wasn't ready.
catastrophic embarrassment. Like I was just waiting for it.
So before you jumped on, I was just giving you a little brief introduction saying that you and I met in high school. We've always kind of bonded over music, sports. We've definitely kept in touch over the years. We've bounced around to different cities across the country and always kept in touch. So, yeah, man, welcome aboard. We're happy to have you. First guest on the Top 5 podcast.
Welcome.
Yeah, I have to give you guys a shout out. Like first episode was a fucking home run. Like I called Dan. I was like, hey man, like that was legit funny. And I've always said this, like y'all have a crazy chemistry. Like we've hung out a few times, like the 4 of us. Like, dude, first podcast was solid. It really was. So
Thank you.
Thanks,
Awesome.
man.
Thank you.
We appreciate that.
What are you drinking over there, Tyler?
and it's El Chingon. It's Four Corners, which is a brewery out of Dallas. So
Okay.
it's kind of over the top IPA. So it's
Ooh.
pretty solid.
Is it very
Awesome.
hoppy?
I
It
take a
is,
drink of
it
that.
is very hoppy. It's like a 74, I
Ooh.
think, IBU. Like it's definitely on like the bigger, older
That's
side.
up there. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
up there.
I also like hoppy beers, if you can't tell here.
Oh, I
Busch
remember
Latte.
my first experience with a hoppy beer.
Tell us about it right now.
Oh, Exit 6 Brewery. I didn't know what I wanted. Dan wanted a vanilla porter, was it? That's why we went in there?
Vanilla cream ale. It used to be good. Yeah, it's I haven't had it in so long, but it had a hint of vanilla. It's pretty good.
Well, I'm very fond of the AB products, and they were not really having that. So I asked the guy to recommend a beer for me. He gave me a Warrior IPA, which was like trying to drink down some pine needles.
It was double IPA.
I think that was the first beer I've never finished.
You liked it?
Oh, God, no.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Well, also those double IPAs will kick you in the face. It's like, oh, I'm
Oh my
feeling
God.
great, and then all of a sudden you're like, I'm passed out at the bar. Like this
I shouldn't be. Guess I shouldn't be drinking this then.
The old Warhammer.
They're like,
Warhammer
Don't worry. It's like-
Imperial IPA.
exactly. They're like, don't worry. It's only 17% alcohol. You
Oh,
know,
is
You'll be
that all?
fine. You'll be fine.
You're not
Oh.
driving, are you?
How are you
Well,
getting
I'm not-
home?
well, I'm not now. Amanda, come and get me.
yeah.
All right, Tyler. So you watched episode 1.
I did.
You know the rules. We did top 5 chip in that first episode. Every guest is going to start off with their top 5 chip.
Okay.
So we got to hear your top 5 chips and reasoning for each, ranked
Okay.
from 5 to 1.
It's crunch time.
All right, 5-1. I'm going to start. I'm going to just go off track just a little bit and say that barbecue lays are an awful chip.
An awful
Orange-
chip?
Are
Wait
it
a minute.
awful?
You're not even listing your.
Wow.
You're just going straight into the
My
roast.
man, Tyler, already my favorite guest.
Just an awful chip.
Yes.
I mean, they're flimsy. They have no structure. Like, if I want to eat a barbecue chip, I want it to have some ass behind it. All right.
You know what?
Like,
Sometimes we're gonna have guests on that don't have a solid palate, and that's fine.
We'd like to thank Tyler for being on today.
just like gone.
Oh man, I appreciate that comment right there.
All right. So the fifth chip on my list is like it's kind of like the girl that all of your buddies just don't understand why you have a thing for her, and like you also don't really know. It's just you've always enjoyed it.
Hillary Duff.
I'm just gonna go regular blue bag Sun Chips, just original.
Oh wow.
as a
Interesting.
number 5.
Boy, he's a plain Jane.
Yeah, and that's why I put it at the very bottom, because it's not exciting, but like the texture, like just a good amount of salt. I also think, like, do you guys remember those dry ass like fried chicken sandwiches that we had at North?
Oh, yes.
Oh
in the
yeah.
lunch line?
Yes.
That chicken sandwich and a bag of like the regular Sun Chips was my lunch. Like, I would say 90% of the time.
Okay.
There's nostalgia there.
It's
I
just
didn't
interesting
bother.
that you picked a plain chip, but you just roasted the barbecue. But anyway,
know.
move on.
Well, at least this plain chip has some structure. It's got some integrity. Like those Lay's chips, like you
The
breathe
grooves.
on, and they like crack. Like, I'm not a fan. I'm not.
Yeah,
They're
like
not.
dust.
They're not built Ford tough, but they're delicious, is what they are.
No, like
They're
I
no
said,
Chevy.
I need
No.
a chip with some ass behind it. I'm sorry. So,
All right.
number 4, Tostitos Hint of Lime tortilla chips.
That's
Okay.
a good chip.
It
And
is a
I-
great chip.
I think the hint of lime is a real marketing snafu there, because like they sprinkle like full lime crack dust. on
Yeah,
They
it's
dust
way
it.
beyond a hint.
It's
I
it's
can
not
only
a
do
hint.
so-
It's a dusting.
I can only do so many of those at a time.
I mean, yeah, before you start getting like sores, because
Yeah.
but, like,
In your mouth.
but like, dude, you
pair
get
great
to
with
the
a margarita.
Oh yeah, and then you get to the bottom of the bag, where like that cracked lime dust is just
Oh, God.
really marinating.
Mm-hmm.
You've
Do a
got
line of it.
You're trying to shrivel up.
got
You
a
just
real
give
Tyrone
the bag.
Biggums kind of thing
Tyrone
going on
Biggums.
there, Coming in at number 3, which also, like, if I didn't get the regular Sun Chips at North, I picked up this contender, the Flamin' Hot Munchies.
Oh,
Oh man, that's a good mixed bag there.
That's
Wow.
a great mixed bag, and I know it has pretzels, which is kind of,
Taboo around here.
I'll allow it. It's majority chips in that bag.
Okay,
Yeah.
I did have a second. I was just gonna go Flamin' Hot Cheetos if I.
I think
had to.
I'll allow it. What do you guys think?
I think so. It is majority chip.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you've got the Sun Chip, you've got the Cheetos, you've got the pretzel. Are there Doritos in there too? Right.
I feel like there
Mhm.
are the little
Yeah.
triangle Dorito chip.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Interesting
So-
that 2 of your picks are nostalgia picks from high school.
for sure.
I like that.
But there's variety. Like in that bag, I get so many options.
You
It's
get the
like,
spice.
you get the spice.
Oh, for sure.
Wash
wow.
wash it down with a pink Fruitopia.
Boy, deep tray.
Oh, yeah.
boy.
Oh,
Get into-
man.
Yeah, I mean, get into a fight that we're not supposed to, and man, we're just right back in high school. Like,
Oh, Seb.
Welcome to
oh,
Thunderdome.
07?
The Thunderdome.
Coming in at number 2 is a play on a very popular yet divisive chip from the first episode.
Ooh.
I'm going to go with the cheddar sour and cream ruffle, but the baked edition.
Oh.
Cheddar and sour cream baked.
So the worst edition. That's what you're telling me.
Sounds
that-
like it.
That chip was so bad they tried to fix it with a baked chip. And
Mike.
They tried. Tyler, there is no way you're picking that over a regular.
I'm going to, and I don't know if it's just because it's like, me being guilty and I like trying to be healthy or what, but I love that chip. I really do.
Even if it is a good chip, which I've never had it, it can't
See,
be
okay,
better.
You're not allowed to talk.
Hold on,
You're not,
hold
you're
on.
not allowed to talk about it.
But
until
it
you've had
can't be better than the fried chips.
I'll just
Wait.
go ahead and back you up. It's not better.
Okay.
Regular.
Okay. There it is.
Good. It's good. It's a solid chip.
Of course, the two guys with the same first name are going to pick sides. So
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
Complete opposite of the first episode, by the way.
Oh, that's true. That is true.
All right, hit me with your number one. This better
Number
be
one.
good.
my number one, and I'm not sure if you guys have actually ever had this, so I have a
Uh-oh.
link ready. You'll have to let me know.
Okay.
Have you ever had the Zapp's kettle chips, the voodoo flavor?
Yes. Solid chip. We got a shout out today on
That was brought up
Facebook
today.
We
From
did
Dan's
Gary
uncle.
Bortz.
from Dan's
Yep,
uncle
Gary Bortz said the Zapp's voodoo. He said it's not a lot of heat, but it's a delicious chip.
So
Oh,
one
come
of my-
on, Gary.
I've never had them.
One of my buddies
I've never had them either.
had a great analogy. He's like, it's like when they were creating that chip, it's like they got really, really high and then just like mixed up all the ingredients.
No, it's
Um,
seriously like that factory. They accidentally mixed in all the dust that they have. They just
Exactly.
threw it on,
No.
but it's great.
Yeah, so it's like
Yeah.
barbecue seasoning,
Ooh.
salt and vinegar, and jalapeno,
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
all in one bag.
it's sweet and spicy and savory all in one bite.
Yeah,
that is a
I-
good chip.
Now I gotta
Those
go
of you
find
that
this.
haven't had
I
it,
know.
text me your address. They actually ship that shit. Text me your address, and
What?
I will send a couple bags of those chips to y'all.
Just
I'll send
so
you a PM after
so you
this.
guys and anybody who's listening, if you haven't had them, the only place I found them in this like the single serve bag was Mr. Good Sense sandwiches. Mr.
Really?
Good Sense, they have them. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a superb chip. Like they're so flavorful that I can only have like a small bag of them. Like anything more than a small bag, you
Just
know,
too much
it's-
power.
Yeah, it's too much power, you know. So I
Yeah.
I have to restrain myself, but like put it in
And
your
they've
mouth
got
and
that
just-
kettle crunch too.
Yeah, they do. They really do.
Yeah.
I
so-
do like kettle chips. They are very delicious.
So I highly recommend put it in your mouth and just like deal with the hurricane explosion of flavor and call it.
I had a nickel.
That's what he said.
If I had a nickel, Tyler.
Anyway, I guess
valid.
that's a good time to move on to the next subject.
Mike's
That was
like,
good-
no,
that
no,
was a
no.
good chip list.
Mike's like, no. I really need to. I really need to share this, boys.
Let's circle
I
back.
need this. I need it.
So this week's top 5 list is top 5 favorite pro athlete. This is an interesting list to me.
This was a tough list.
It's a very tough list because I felt like, I made my top 5 list, and then there's still like 5 or 10 people that I could justify putting on my top 5 list. But each individual person, I'm speaking for myself here, you kind of got to take into account like stats and nostalgia and like your favorite athletes and, why they're your favorite. They could be different reasons, like not stats related.
Yeah, like a big thing for me was I picked almost how they impacted me growing up.
That was
Oh.
my list as well.
Yeah.
Mine was a combination for sure. Dan, we talked about this briefly earlier. It's like, yeah, it's all those things. It's like their impact on the game. It's how they impacted your childhood. It's like any emotional connection you have to that player. Like there's
Yeah.
a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'll go ahead and kick things off if that's cool.
Sure.
Oh, go ahead.
So my number 5 is definitely a nostalgic pick. Okay.
Okay.
Definitely nostalgic. I am going with my man, Mr. Adam Wainwright, for number 5.
Oh, here we go.
I am honestly
I'm
surprised that
he's
that's 5.
low.
I am.
I am too.
So surprised.
Yeah.
Mr. PS4 title.
Yeah.
Wayno,
He
Wayno
had
lover,
he had to be
2002.
on there, but once I started diving into stats and stuff, I couldn't justify having him higher than that. So
Oh, you're gonna hate my list.
So I had to pick him, and here's the reasons why. First of all, preview to a future episode yet to be decided when we record this. Could be a top 5 celebrity man crush for me.
Spoiler
For
alert.
sure, for a variety of reasons. But anyway, he's super philanthropic. I'll get back into those reasons here soon.
Huge.
I'm just saying.
Hey, he's a tall man.
I'm not speculating, but
The lumber on that one.
You
he's
know,
swinging
bad.
2 bats. You know what I mean?
have you guys seen him on Twitter lately? during
didn't know where that
quarantine.
Oh
comes
boy, here we go.
Yeah, speaking of 9
No,
inches.
no, seriously, he's been apparently he plays guitar and he has a great singing voice too. He's been like taking requests and
Oh
singing
boy,
songs.
he
and stuff
melted
on
your heart with
Twitter.
that one.
Hey man, he's turning a total package. He's funny,
he's-
plays guitar, he's an athlete, tall,
He's-
strapping fella.
Yeah,
What we
he's
don't
a
know right
5
now-
on the list.
Yeah, what we don't know right now is Dan doesn't have pants on during this conversation.
Where are my hands? You don't know.
Nobody
Never,
knows.
Ever.
Wait till we get to 1.
But anyway, he's a
The
big
screen
leader.
rocket.
He's a big leader on the Cardinals. I think he takes the Cardinal way very seriously. He grabbed the torch from Chris Carpenter. He's passed it on to Jack Flaherty, the ace torch that passes on through the organization. 06 World Series closer. That's when it all started.
Mm-hmm.
There's not some nostalgia there as a Cardinals fan. You can get out.
Well, didn't
I
he?
love that.
But
Oh,
he,
for
but even
sure.
before that, striking out Beltran and the
that's what I was gonna say.
NLCS
Yeah,
are the absolute thorn in the Cardinals' side for years.
yeah.
That curveball striking him out was just filthy.
That might be a pinnacle Cardinal moment. for
Oh
me.
my God.
Like that strikeout against Beltran was, I mean, and the fact that he threw his pitch, what was it, like 6 or 7 times in a row, that
Yeah.
curveball.
Oh,
You know, he's like, if you're gonna beat me, you're gonna beat me on my pitch.
yeah.
He just like, kept-
You know it's coming.
you know it's
Here
coming.
it comes. Here it comes.
So,
Yeah.
Uncle Charlie, so good.
But stats wise, he never won Cy Young, so he's never the best pitcher in the league. But he did come in second place twice, and he came in third place in that voting twice as well. So he was always in the mix. If damn Clayton Kershaw wasn't involved, he would have won. He would have won a couple.
Mr. Not So Clutch in the playoffs over there.
He's not. No.
No, he's
Houston
terrible.
does not
Astros
wanna
might
face
have
Matt
something to
Adams.
do with that, but let's see.
Number 4, this one may surprise you as being low on the list as well. My man, Peyton Manning.
Oh,
Oh wow! I didn't think he was going to make your list.
He
This
made the
piece of
list.
Shit.
that
He
goofy
made
bastard.
the list.
Yeah, right. I have it on. Never
A
mind.
good authority.
I have it on good authority. You know what? Nothing. We're going to leave that one.
So I definitely followed him since he was drafted by the Colts. Rough rookie season, but just picked it up after that. 2-time Super Bowl champion, 5-time MVP in the league, which, by the way, is the most MVPs by any player in the NFL history.
His stats are impressive.
And
The
14.
only thing more impressive, that fucking forehead.
I was
Hey.
gonna say he's got a big old head on him.
I'm just glad you called it a 4-head, not a 5-head. Honestly,
Missed opportunity there.
No, it was like a 17 head. If we're being like literal here.
Well,
14 seasons with over 4,000 passing yards.
it's cute, I guess.
14.
Yeah.
So
I have always hated this pick of yours. I think Peyton Manning is overrated, but that's just me.
Can we all agree that his commercials are hilarious, though?
Well, he's a better actor than a quarterback.
Oh my God! What is that insurance that he does?
Nationwide?
Him and Brad
Nationwide.
Paisley.
Him and Brad Paisley have such a combo together. They are hilarious.
hey, you're previewing Man Crush for me.
Hey.
Anyway, moving on to number 3. Mr. Albert Pujols.
There he is.
I was waiting for
Number
Mr.
3.
Angorium.
May he rot in hell.
Mr. Megorium.
You better shut your mouth. You wait until you hear this.
Oh,
He had, fight me on this, he had
You know I will.
the greatest 10-year stretch as a Cardinal and maybe a baseball player that we will ever see as a Cardinal. He had 9 seasons in a row where he batted over 300, over 30 home runs, and over 100 RBIs. In his 10th season, which is last season with the St. Louis Cardinals, he batted .299 with 99 RBIs and over 30 home runs. So we almost had 10 years straight of all of that. That is
good?
absolutely insane.
don't get me wrong. What a machine. Like, for sure. Like, I mean, an absolute unit of a baseball player.
We were so
Unit.
fortunate to see those 10 years of his career.
Oh man, how could you not like that guy?
We're never going to see that again. I mean, 3 home runs in a World Series back in 2011,
Oh God.
2-time World Series champion. here in
Mike's
St.
like,
Louis.
Mike's screen goes black.
Excuse me, guys. Those 3 dongers.
That's rough for me though, because like I always respected the stats and like I always respected him as a baseball player, but I never really felt an emotional connection to Pujols. Like even at that time, like with Roland batting like in the 4 spot, oftentimes like I was such a huge Roland fan that I was like, let Roland get the ribbies, like.
I love me some Scott Rowland.
Yeah, Scott Rowland was like my dude out of those those 3 or 4 years of that team.
And
Yeah.
I love Scott Rowland too. I mean,
Great third baseman.
You could hear him fire over to first outside of Busch Stadium. You could hear that. You could hear that pop outside the stadium for sure.
Throwing rockets.
I love him, but he doesn't have stats greater than Albert Pujols to make my list. Number 2. I think this is curveball for you guys.
Okay.
Number 2. I'm going Roger Federer.
Oh,
I'm a big tennis guy.
More of a
Do you like
dog
to play
guy
tennis?
myself.
It's the shorts, those tight white shorts, right?
20 Grand Slam wins, 20 major wins.
Wow.
That is more major wins in a solo sport than any other solo sport that exists. He is the greatest in his game. He is the greatest in his game. So
Mike.
he won 20 times, but he went to the finals in majors 31 times.
That means he's an 11-time loser.
That is insane. You don't want to get it. You don't want to get into Brady's
That's a
losing
strong
record, do you?
percentage. That's a strong percentage there, Mike.
Yeah. Appreciate
Yeah.
that.
20 out of 31. That's really strong. Number 1.
and
Dead
my
silence.
number 1.
Number 1. Hold on, I gotta do some research here real quick.
I knew it.
Oh, I knew
I
it.
absolutely
I
knew it.
I knew
You
it.
had to know it was coming.
Yeah,
Old
there's
Tig Woods,
You can't
Zero
pick
doubt.
a magazine.
Mr.
Oh.
Tiger.
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
Sorry.
This guy and his props.
we-
I tell you what.
I was going to say, should we just start calling him Carrot Top?
After
He
a
brings
little bit of
props to every episode.
He does.
after a little bit of deliberation, I'm going with Tiger Woods as number 1. And if you guys want all the stats, I'll give them to you.
I thought it was.
I bet
Phil.
you have him.
I've got him.
You're going to hate my list because I have 0 stats. I thought I was
80
just okay.
82 career wins, tied for the most career wins in history with Sam Snead. 15 majors. That's second. His career is not over yet.
Mhm.
Jack Nicklaus, of course, has more.
Sure.
He is 14-1 in majors when at least sharing the lead going into Sunday. He has
Sunday
15.
Red.
He has
Sunday
15 majors. He is 14-1 where he at least has a share of the lead going into Sunday. That is ridiculous.
Mm.
That is ridiculous. Youngest player to ever win the career Grand Slam in golf. Most consecutive cuts made at 142. And there's on average 48 events per year.
The guy's got a top 5 name too.
Oh, I heard that.
El Tigre. I mean, like, you come out of the womb just ready to fight shit, Like,
So I
He
was
was
just
born to play golf.
I was just reading that Sports Illustrated magazine, right? I was just reading that Sports Illustrated
Oh,
magazine.
you just happen to have that?
just happen to have it.
I use that for toilet paper.
I was gonna say it's a good toilet read.
His 2019 Masters win was the greatest comeback story of all time.
Like Kim
There's no
Kardashian.
way that it ever gets beat. There's no way that it ever gets beat.
I watched that live. That was
You guys can. I
it
mean,
was
it's
incredible.
fun. It's
Man.
fun. You can try to trash talk that, but it's so true. He
Man.
had so many back surgeries. He fell down on the course, left, and he came back and won in his 40s against guys that were in their 20s, hitting the ball further than him.
You'll know this. How many years between his last major win and the 2019 Masters?
11.
11. Like that.
11 years.
11 years. Yeah. I mean, that.
He won 14 majors, was the king of his sport, and then went down for 11 years and came back and won again. That was a comeback story. Anyway, little side tidbit for you. 2000 U.S. Open, he won that tournament by 15 strokes. Ernie Els came in second, and Ernie Els at the time was ranked 4 in the world, and Tiger won by 15 strokes.
I'm going to lay off that joke, but I'm going to leave one of you. Like, I'm going to tee one of you up for it.
I can't take that one.
So that's my list.
I love it.
Okay.
Okay.
I got mine on deck for you.
Can we pause 5 seconds? Can I grab another beer?
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure, do
we'll,
what you
we'll
gotta
keep
do.
going, but go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. You want me to go ahead with Adam?
Yep.
All right. Number 5, I got Nomar Garcia-Parra.
Oh, you do. You're a big Nomar guy.
I was a big Nomar guy.
Are you gonna
The
give?
old-
Are you gonna give reasons? I mean, I know nostalgic. You like
Yeah.
him, but
Oh yeah, as a kid, Nomar, he was my first favorite baseball player ever. Playing CYC baseball,
he's your favorite third baseman.
shortstop.
I know.
Playing CYC baseball, he is where I got my batting stance from, the high elbow.
Old Nomar.
Yeah. When I started wearing batting gloves, I would try to imitate Nomar, although it took forever. So I had to kind of stop doing that. And when we were little, my brother loved Derek Jeter, Matt loved A-Rod, and I loved Nomar. They were like the 3 greatest shortstops at the time. And I don't know, I idolized Nomar.
It's a solid pick. He was
Yeah.
great. He was injury prone. Unfortunately, his career didn't last longer.
Yeah.
But,
And it sucked I think he got shipped out of Boston. Nice.
Where did he go?
He went to Oakland before Chicago or
Chicago?
Chicago before Oakland.
Yeah.
One
I
of the
remember
two.
him in Chicago, but I don't remember.
But he left the year that they won the World Series against the Cardinals.
let's
That's
just.
one of those details. Like as you get older, like for some reason, like I didn't know that he was at Chicago, but like in the back of your brain, you're like, I remember him in a Chicago uniform.
I feel like Mike
Yeah.
should know though. I mean, he made his top 5 list. But anyway, what's number 4?
Well, I know the 2 teams he played for. Number 4, I got Tom Brady.
Ooh.
Oh my God, that's low.
Hey,
4?
yeah. He's an incredible quarterback, obviously. He's the GOAT. Let's be honest here.
Can I throw you a crazy stat piggybacking off of mine?
Sure.
Can you imagine how many Super Bowls that guy would have won if Peyton Manning wasn't in the league? They met in the playoffs 5 times, and Peyton Manning beat him 3 of the 5 times. He
Wow.
could have possibly gone to the Super Bowl 3 more times.
I wonder if the
And how many rings does he already have?
6. I wonder if the 2 other times that he did beat Peyton are those the years he lost to Eli in the Super Bowl?
Oh man, that would be a very interesting stat. I wish I would have looked that
total
up.
losses to a Manning.
Right.
Wow.
That was his kryptonite.
That would be crazy. Which fuck Eli Manning.
Right.
How do you really feel?
But yeah, Brady, I mean, you got to respect him for what he's done. 6 Super Bowls. He's a beast. He outperforms every opponent almost. I mean, I know you said Manning has the numbers on him, but
Well, I mean, he does have 2 cheating scandals against 2 of the Super Bowls, but
see, everybody
Yeah.
says
if
that.
you
but
want
there's-
to, if you want to put a
That
cheater
is
in your
cheating.
top 5, that's fine.
There's no cheating involved. It's just all skill.
Out of Tom
It's
Brady's
just all
first
skill.
out of Tom Brady's first 5 Super Bowls, name me any of the wide receivers on those teams. That's always my argument versus Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning had Hall of Famers around him at the wide
Yeah.
receiver position. Tom Brady in the first 5 Super Bowls, like name me 2 wide
think he
receivers.
had,
Well,
like,
well, his
Troy
defense,
Brown.
Name
his
you one.
defense won 2 of them for him, just like Peyton had in Denver.
Well, yeah, but the last one against the Rams, like the most boring Super Bowl in the world.
True.
But that one against Atlanta, that comeback,
That was crazy.
that was
What?
unreal.
28-3.
yeah. But and then I love that he plays with that chip on his shoulder because he's always been mad that he was the last quarterback taken in that draft class, and it just motivated him to play better. And you just gotta love the guy,
Yeah, Mike loves Tim Brady.
Tim Brady.
Tim Brady, Tom's cousin.
Number 3, I got Albert Pujols.
Ooh,
Yes.
Yeah.
Look at you 2 matching
Well,
up.
If you're a Cardinals fan, you respect what he did for the team. He had 2 World Series.
Who cares that he left, right? Who cares?
Oh,
We
I
got his
think it
best
was a
10
great
years. We're not
decision
paying
for him.
for him. We're not
Yeah.
paying for him.
We gave him an offer, but I mean, obviously he chased the money, but we didn't want him for that much longer. I mean, look at him; he's been on the downward spiral since he left St. Louis.
Downward spiral. And if any of us were in the same position, you would do the same thing.
Oh,
It was-
absolutely.
he's setting himself up. Tyler, come on. You're setting yourself up for retirement here.
I mean, he's already set up. It's not
He
like
is.
he's worried about like another 100 G's to his retirement fund and like maybe last one more year. Like
Maybe he
was-
really wanted Maserati.
I
We don't
could
know.
well, hold on.
You know how
I
many
could care. I
Maseratis-
could care less.
You know how many Maseratis you can buy with 250 million?
I could care less. I could care less about whether he wanted more money or not. The fact of the matter is, we got the best 10 years of his career, and we got 2 World Series out of him. He
Oh,
can do whatever
absolutely.
he wants
Yeah.
after that.
Oh, absolutely.
I was gonna say he got 2 World Series, 3-time MVP in St. Louis. He was a 9-time All-Star as a Cardinal.
Love it.
Yeah, he was the greatest player in baseball while I was in St. Louis. And
He was the face of baseball. I was
Yeah.
trying to explain that to Amanda the other day. Like, that's how good the Cardinals were for 10 years. He was the face of Major League Baseball. He was the Mike Trout of today or the Bryce Harper of today.
I
He
agree.
was the best player for 10 years, and he wore the birds on the bat.
I'm just picturing
He's
Dan.
top
He's
5.
like he's got Amanda sat down on the couch in the living room.
Come on over here.
he's like, I need to explain something to you.
He's got a PowerPoint up.
He's like, next slide. Next
Now
slide.
on our first slide.
he's like,
I have to go to the bathroom. Sit down.
we need a Zoom meeting. And she's like, you're right in front of me. He's like, no,
It's
no.
just us.
Now here is a story all about Al.
Hey.
Oh. All right. I got number 2. I got Brett Favre.
Ooh.
Oh. Okay.
Gunslinger.
All right, I know who Mike's number 1 is now. I was
So do
wondering. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Brett Favre. The first team I ever loved growing up was the Packers because of Brett Favre.
Yeah.
He's incredible. He won that Super Bowl against the Patriots in '96, and then he won the next year and he lost to Elway, which I think that was the first time I cried over a sporting event when he lost.
What year was that?
No.
97?
'97.
Wow.
So you were 8 years old, just
Yeah.
boo-hooing.
I was. That one hurt me.
Just boo-hooing.
Just boo-hooing.
But I had so much Green Bay memorabilia. Like I had this like little clock. It was a Green Bay helmet. It was so sweet.
I remember you had that.
I
Yeah, all
remember
kinds of-
that.
I had so much Brett Favre. I got a autographed Brett Favre pick back there.
Oh, I see it.
You missed it in high school. I randomly ended up with a Brett Favre high school jersey, and I sold it to Nick Legamaro.
What?
Oh.
Like
Nick
I just like I never wore it, and
Yeah.
I sold it to Nick. So
I had the home and the away Brett Favre jersey. I had the white and the green.
I remember those. Yep.
Yeah. He's my first favorite.
That's a solid pick.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a quarterback you love to watch. Like I
Oh my God.
vividly remember like a Thanksgiving Day game, Packers versus Vikings, and it's like snowing.
Yeah.
And like you just like you watch it and you're like, that's football. You know, like Brett Favre in the snow.
Slinging the ball.
He's
What was
working class.
slinging it?
He's blue collar.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
What a dog.
You wanted to root for him.
Yeah, for sure. You know,
What-
like all the stories about the receivers who are like have like broken fingers.
Oh, Antonio Freeman. He
Yeah.
always
Oh,
talks
yeah.
about it.
Just oh my God. Yeah.
What was it like it was like a Monday night game. It was like the night or the day like his dad died and he went out and played and just went off.
Yeah, he did.
Oh yeah.
He had an amazing game. Yeah, he was incredible. I know he hung around a little longer than he probably should have.
He went to Minnesota.
He's a
Didn't he?
dog. Like he's a competitor.
He went to the Jets. He went to the Vikings.
Yeah, he went to Dan's favorite NFL team, the Jets.
Yeah.
I do like the Jets.
That Viking stint though, like they were like in the
They-
playoff chase.
they did
They,
well.
they lost to the Saints that year, 09, I think.
He
when the
threw an
Saints went on to
he
beat
threw an
Peyton.
interception to end that game. That was his curse, man.
Yeah.
Favre, he would sling it, but man, he would throw those crucial interceptions that would change the game every once in a while.
I think
You
you
could
like
sling a
root-
pigskin over those mountains. Check it out.
for
Check it
sure.
out. Yeah.
What's your number 1, Michael?
Number 1, I got Brett Hall.
Hey.
Knew it. Number 16.
Absolutely.
Looking around my room, you can probably tell I'm a Hawks fan. God, no.
Get
God bless
we
Chicago.
went
God bless
blues.
Brett Hall, he was the reason I fell in love with hockey as a kid. He's my first memory of the Blues and watching the game as a kid with my dad in the back room. He's just an incredible player. I mean, what do you have, 80, 82, 86 goals in a season, something like that? I can't remember.
Probably something outrageous.
Something ridiculous. Numbers you'll never see again.
No.
Just incredible. Yeah, he wore number 16. My birthday is the 16th, and
Ooh,
that's why that's my favorite number.
that's a detail I did not know.
Oh, yeah, that's a deep track.
Golden Brett. Yeah,
Deep
that's
track right there.
that was Mike's number in sports growing up, 16.
Really?
It was.
Always
As
my
someone
favorite.
who like didn't grow up a huge hockey fan, like I'm learning something new for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah. So yeah, and when he left us to go to Dallas,
was gonna say, yeah.
and then won a cup.
Won a cup. Went to Detroit. Won a cup.
Yep.
Cut
Did
me
he stay
deep.
16 when he went to Dallas?
Cut me deep.
No, he actually went to number 22.
22.
I think 16 was taken.
Hold
and
up.
then when he went to Detroit,
Wait a minute.
he was 17, I believe.
He's a 22.
But St. Louis retired 16, which is, I'll never.
They did.
I've got the replica banner hanging in my basement.
Nice.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It's a good banner. Bruce even.
That's a good
Banner.
list there, Mikey.
Is that a top?
Wow.
Is that a top 5 banner?
All right, I'm interested. I'm interested here because Tyler, you've got different interests than we do. You like NBA. You're a big college football guy. Your box is a little bit bigger than ours in terms of sports interests. So I'm curious
Hold
to
on,
hear what you
kind of
got.
joke- what kind of joke?
Oh,
is
you've
that?
got a big box, and let's hear about it.
Nice box, Tyler.
Incredible 5-hole, really.
Whoa, hockey guy.
Oh, you a hockey guy?
I didn't peg you for a hockey guy.
You didn't puck me for a hockey guy. Got it.
There he is.
Ooh.
Hey, stick
All right.
around. It gets better.
Oh
Okay.
my
Goodness.
god.
Shut the fuck up, would you?
Shut the puck up. Iced me. All right.
Slides it in there.
All right, I'm
So-
getting kind of bored.
Oh, good.
There he is. Anything else? Anybody?
Coming in at number 5, and Dan, you actually called it. There are 2 NBA players on my list, so I'll throw that out there. Coming in at number 5, Sir Charles Barkley.
Oh, sure.
I know you're number one now. I know you're number
Tyler,
one.
can I say that's terrible?
Terrible.
That's
Just-
terrible.
That's terrible.
All right, so like my list is very different than Dan's. Like all of the folks on my list are like icons in their sport, but it's more like an emotional appeal for me.
Okay.
Charles Barkley is an enigma. Like the dude just he says whatever the fuck he wants to, whenever he wants to.
Yeah.
He
That's
does it
true.
on national television every Thursday night. Like the comedy special of Charles Barkley, Kenny the Jet, Ernie, and Shaq
Kenny the Jet.
on like TNT Thursday nights. Like I will watch that and not watch basketball. Like I'll just watch it just to like watch
Yeah.
them like talk shit together. In the same way that I enjoy the 3 of you like talking shit together. It's just like
Well, sure.
funny to watch the chemistry.
And can we talk about that golf swing?
Oh, dude, the golf swing, the hit.
Oh my God.
like
I think he got that from Tiger.
Oh my god. Can't wait for this list.
Oh, no.
And I have to say, if I could grab a beer with any professional athlete, like if I got to snap my finger and go out and get hammered with any professional athlete, past or present, it would be Charles Barkley.
Oh, it's
Really?
Brett Hall. It's Brett Hall for me.
Yeah.
I couldn't
Oh,
keep up
he's-
with Brett.
No.
I'll keep mine to myself. I
He
haven't
said
given my
a
list.
beer, not a night.
And then like on top of all of that, like if you go back and watch highlights, which as I was in the waiting room, I was watching Charles Barkley highlights. What a dog. I mean, he was actually super undersized for the NBA. He was like 6'4", 6'5", playing power forward. Which
I was
is
going to
like,
ask, what position? It's
He
okay.
played power forward, but he played it at 6'4", 6'5", which is like typically that position is like a guy who's 6'10", but he
Yeah.
was just so athletic. He was just so like,
He's like the size of a guard.
yeah, he's a fucking dog, but he played a position that should have been like almost half a foot taller than him, plus like 50 pounds.
How
Like,
many championships did he win?
0.
Oh wow.
I think
Just
Michael
none.
Jordan makes fun of him for that all the time, doesn't he?
No, Shaq and Jordan make fun of him
Yeah.
about that all the time. But like even Jordan and a couple other coaches are quoted like on that dream team with like every Hall of Famer that we all recognize. Everyone was like, Jordan was number 1 and Barkley was number 2 on that team. Like,
Wow.
Also, Barkley won the MVP in 92, 93 when Jordan was in his prime and had the most wins. Barkley was one of those guys who like only had himself. Like he never had a squad around him.
Was he? I know he was with the Suns.
Started his career with the Sixers,
Okay.
went to the Suns, finished
Okay.
with the Rockets. But he
That-
was,
okay.
Prime was with the Suns.
yeah, with the pinstripe jersey Rockets. You know.
yeah, okay. I remember with the Rockets now. I never remember the Sixers.
Yeah. So Charles Barkley, like if I could grab a beer, which is funny, he's my number 5, but like he's the number 1 on my list that I just want to hang out with.
Hey, I'd say
That might
just
be a good
I'd,
list.
I'd say just chuck him right off your list. You know.
No.
Ooh. Number 4, Baker Mayfield, longtime Oklahoma
Wow.
Sooners quarterback, now
Yeah.
De facto mayor of Cleveland, Ohio.
De facto.
He took that from LeBron, huh?
He took that from LeBron because they don't have anything else going on in Cleveland.
No.
So growing up, so my grandpa, both of my grandparents are from Oklahoma, and growing up, like my grandpa, he actually went to Oklahoma University. So I just like grew up a Sooners fan, even though I grew up in Missouri.
Yeah.
And Sooner football on like Saturdays is like, it's second most sentimental to me right after Cardinal baseball. Like Cardinal baseball is number one as far as like sentimental sports. But Sooner football like comes in second.
Let me tell you something that's crazy to me, Tyler, because I didn't know anything. I'm not a huge college football guy. Like college, I'll watch it. I'm definitely a casual watcher at best for any college sports.
Yeah.
But it was amazing to me. You and I were walking around somewhere, might have been KC or something, or DC, and you just saw someone wearing like an OU hat, and you walked by him and you go Boomer, and they go Sooner. And I was like, what the hell was that?
No,
then-
okay, Boomer.
Because I was on a walk. I was on a walk with my family the other day, and in the neighborhood there was a gal that's in college, and she was wearing an OU shirt, and she was walking down the street, and someone rolled down their window and yelled Boomer at her, and then she responded Sooner, and I had to explain it to Amanda what was going on.
Yeah, it's a thing, like the rally cry. And like for me, like, excuse me, like even just like that vibe on Saturdays, you know, like where there's an OU game, just
Yeah.
makes me happy. It really does. But like as a player, so Baker's got some swagger. Like he's a shit talker. Like he's one of those dudes that like if he's on your team, you love him, and then if he's not on your team, you're like, fuck that dude. Like I hate him. You know, like he's definitely that guy.
Yeah.
But like with those guys, like typically the metric that I judge them by is like whether or not their team loves them. You know, like Johnny Manziel was that guy, like you either loved him or hate him, but like his team like never stood up for him. They like never backed him up. Like Baker, like he would be in press conferences and like reporters would be giving him a hard time, and his team would come up and be like, dude, y'all need to shut up. Like he was like,
The difference is Manziel's a douche, and you know, Baker could be considered that, you know, by some people, but he really is a dude in the locker room.
yeah, no, I mean,
The big
like,
difference.
his team loves him, you know,
Yeah.
like that. So there's just like that swagger, and like I've honestly never had more fun like watching Sooner football than when Baker was playing. Just it felt like it was like that like you versus the world kind of mentality, just because you knew everybody hated you because Baker was really good and like really visible. But yeah, like Baker Mayfield coming in at number 4.
Do you think
Number
Baker
4.
Mayfield was bigger than Sam Bradford?
Personality wise, 100%.
But I mean, like in Oklahoma, do you think he's revered more? Like, didn't Bradford
Yes.
win national titles?
Bradford won a national title. He won a Heisman. Bradford was the same guy, but like Bradford had the short end of the stick where he had to go play for the St. Louis Rams at a time.
Yeah.
that was really,
And he was
really
trash.
Well, the Browns.
But when you isolate their careers to college, you got to take like the social media and all that, all the hype and stuff out of it. Baker Mayfield may have been the same guy in Bradford's era
I just didn't know,
in
like,
terms of popularity.
I'll
Yeah.
say this though, back to the dog statement. So this is a fun story. Baker Mayfield was banned from playing intramural sports, so he redshirted, which is another part of his story that I
Oh
love.
my God.
He redshirted, which means like you show up to college, like, you know, you're not guaranteed a spot on the team, blah, blah, blah. Like you're not really a part of the team. And so during that redshirt year, he like showed up and started playing basketball, started playing flag football, and every team he was on, including softball, like won the championship. And so they were finally like, you can't play intramural sports anymore, you know? And I was just like,
you're
if,
banned.
if you're not an athlete, you know, like after that, like what else
Yeah.
is there?
You're making everyone else look bad.
Yeah. So they're like, you can't play, you know, you're just that good.
All right, I'm Bakered out.
All right. Number 3, Tiger Woods.
There it is. Yeah.
Never heard of him.
The Masters is one of my favorite events, even though like I'm not the world's biggest golf fan. I didn't grow up like playing golf like Dan. It's not that big of a part of my life, but I love golf on TV. I love the Masters. It's one of my favorite like singular sporting events.
Oh, sure.
And like golf is like the PGA is not the PGA without Tiger. Like golf became what it is today because of Tiger.
Yeah.
love him or hate him, the dude is polarizing. Like he's a reason you'll watch on Sundays. You're like, oh, like Tiger's on, you know,
Bingo.
like,
Oh yeah.
and then like my other note was like, he just makes anything watchable. Like whether it's like the fall from grace, like whether, you know, he like kind of imploded, you know, you had the divorce, the drugs and, you know, everything else, but
The
like
cheating.
you know, like there's a lot going on there. But just like 2019 Masters, I'm not going to say that I cried like Dan cried, you know, but like I was riveted just watching the TV.
Oh, I cried. I definitely did.
I know you did. You know,
I paused for 10 minutes and like I threw my phone to the other side of the room. I was like, I don't want to hear from anybody. I am just gonna soak this in.
dude. I mean,
Tiger, we did it.
Me and you,
It's
man.
been me and you for all these years.
This whole time.
All right, I'm gonna move to number 2, and I'm actually surprised that so far I'm the only person that has him on my list. Yachty.
Hey, he was an honorable mention for me.
Definitely.
It was either him or Waino for me.
You want to say that like Pujols was the face of baseball and the face of Cardinal baseball for 10 years. Like Yachty has been the face of Cardinal baseball in my mind for like almost 2 decades.
Well, since Pujols left.
But even then he was a fixture. You know, like I'm not going to say.
Let me argue this. Look, I see your point. I see where you're going. But my biggest thing with Pujols and Yachty was Yachty didn't become himself until Pujols left. Yachty became the leader that he is today after Pujols left. He was walking in Pujols' shadow.
I would disagree. Like pitching staff, catchers.
No, I'm talking about from the team standpoint. Well, Pujols doesn't influence the pitching staff.
So I mean, that's I'm curious. Other two. So we're all from St. Louis.
In my mind, Pujols when he was here was the guy, and since he left, I feel like not that people weren't already Yachty fans, but it's more like Yachty's a lifer. He's a real Cardinal.
Okay,
he's the guy. Like, and I see both sides of it, but I think when Pujols was here, Pujols was the face of Cardinal baseball. And
was he the face because of the stats, though, or was he the face
probably
because of the stats?
Probably
just the stats in my mind.
Yeah.
Well, when people watch baseball, I feel like they want to see the home runs.
And Yachty didn't really emerge as the offensive player that he is today, or he has been in recent years since Pujols' departure.
But that
he became a complete player after Pujols left. I've always been a huge Yachty fan. I love Yachty. I'm not dissing him.
And I think a big thing about Yachty is like he's the guy that he gets in the face of opponents that talk trash to the Cardinals, whatever. Like he's the guy that's like
that.
Don't talk anything about our city. Or I'm coming at you.
All right, so
Brandon Phillips, cue it up.
Yeah,
dude, it's on my list.
It's in my notes.
Whether it's in my notes, I made notes.
That was a movie. That was a movie,
dude. All right, so whether it's like the throws to first, you know, or the double plays, like, you know, all the things we love about Yachty. It's also the fact that like he's been a constant for every portion of our pitching staff over the last like 20 years, essentially.
Totally. Yep.
Whether it's Carp, whether it's Waino, like, you know, with the starting 5, you're going to have folks rotate through. You're going to have them get injured. You're going to have like new closers that come in and out. Like Yachty has been the constant for the team for almost 20 years.
It's amazing.
And then
as a catcher,
which is unheard of. And then on top of all of that, you have a dude like Brandon Phillips that wants to talk shit about the Cardinals and then step into the box and take the shins. And Yachty's like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
and then
immense the slow clap.
In the next inning, Yachty comes up to bat and hits a home run.
Yeah.
Boom. It's the jog by Brandon Phillips, and Phillips heads down, and Yachty's just trotting confidently. Yeah, baby.
Also the Beltran game, the Yachty home run. Like Yachty has had some incredible clutch moments throughout Cardinal baseball, and it's just
also
that, and I agree with you 100%. I was talking the other day. And I said that I think that no one will ever surpass the legacy of Stan Musial in terms of Cardinals baseball.
But the closest
is Yachty.
Yes, agreed.
I think so.
Agreed.
Yeah.
The closest is Yachty for sure.
And that's why I said it's a little more emotional for me. It's not Pujols stats, you know, but it's just like when I'm 60 and I'm like trying to tell some kids about Cardinal baseball, like I'm going to talk about Yachty. you
Well,
know?
like we talked about with these lists, I mean, everyone has to come up with their own reasons. This is top 5 favorite athlete for what? For stats, for nostalgia, for feeling, for tenure. What
It's
is it?
everybody's own top 5.
I
Yeah.
love that pick. Yachty
Yeah.
was under serious consideration for me.
Well, yeah, and then what was it? The World Baseball Classic when he absolutely dominated. Is that what it's called? I can't remember what it's
Yeah,
called.
World Baseball Classic. Yeah,
Like, he tore that up.
well,
Oh
he
my
did,
God.
Puerto
but-
Rico.
He did, but USA won.
I know, but I mean, he
Yeah, he
it
was
seemed like
good,
he was
but he
always
wasn't
on a
that
we
good.
highlight for that.
invented the sport. You would think that we'd have a competitive advantage. So,
What was
right.
cool was Dan and I were in the Dominican Republic with our wives on a vacation
Oh,
during
yeah,
the
we
World
were.
Baseball Classic, and that's when the U.S. beat the Dominican Republic while we were in the Dominican Republic. That was fun.
It was.
Yeah, I love me some Yachty, just emotionally. Like, he's scrappy, says what he feels. Like, he's always
And
gonna be
he
there.
never seems like he's slowing down.
He backs it
Never.
up. He backs it up.
He does.
Oh my
That's the
God, he
difference.
does.
And he's clutch. I love clutch Yachty. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like, and you see this on Twitter, and you see this like on like ESPN boards. Like, other teams hate Yachty so much, and I love seeing that hatred. But they also are like, he's gonna get up there and he's gonna hit a bomb because that's just
Yeah.
what he does.
Yeah.
What's your numero dos?
Yeah.
So that was numero dos.
Oh no, sorry, number 1.
Number 1,
He gone.
Kobe.
Oh,
Kobe.
my God.
Wow. Can I pause you for just a second?
Yeah,
I love the pick. But I thought for sure it was Westbrook.
Westbrook. Talk to me after the end of his career. We'll see where we'll see where I stand. No, I still need time to process. Like, Westbrook is 100%. So I have 2 honorable mentions.
You're just a huge Westbrook guy.
I am a huge.
That's
Westbrook.
why I thought that was your number 1.
So I have 2 honorable mentions: Muhammad Ali and Russell Westbrook.
Okay.
You took
Muhammad
Westbrook and you said Kobe.
Kobe.
Easy.
But also, like, Kobe has a stacked deck because Kobe passed away too
Ooh.
soon. You know, like,
Yeah.
Sure.
Are you playing with emotion here?
I'm playing with emotion right now because, like,
It's a
I'll be-
factor.
I'm man enough to admit, like, I have never cried over an athlete like I cried about Kobe dying.
Yeah.
Like,
That almost seemed fake when I saw it.
I think
was-
Mike told me.
No,
Yeah.
here's how I
Yeah.
found out. I was in the gym. I was like on my 3rd set of 5 for deadlifts, and some dude, don't know him, walks up, taps me on the shoulder. Turn around, I've got, like, fucking metal blaring. Turn
You
around,
got the buds in.
got the buds in, take my headphones out, and this random stranger is like, "Did you hear that Kobe died?"
Oh man.
And I was like, "What?"
He just wanted the equipment you were on.
He's playing the long game here.
This guy looks like he's going to get emotional.
No, yeah, I just started crying, weeping right there.
He
No,
left the gym.
Random dude I don't know, and I'm literally in the middle of a set. Like, when I say, like, I was about to, like, take off, like, I was right there about to pull, and then, like, some dude taps me on the shoulder. Is like, "Hey man, like, did you hear that Kobe died?" I'm like,
So
"No."
random.
And so I immediately, like, tried to, like, get on Twitter. My
Yeah.
internet's not working because, like, our gym's in the basement of my apartment building. And so, like, we, like, spend like 15-20 minutes trying to get ESPN working on the TV, and, like, we finally get it pulled up, and it's like, sure enough, it's like the helicopter crash, and, like, Kobe's died, and, like, we, like, chatted for a second. The dude was from Philadelphia, which is where Kobe played basketball in high school. And, like, we chatted about it for a second, went off, did our own workouts, kind of, like, dapped up, said goodbye. And then, like, over the course of, like, the next week or so, like, we're really processing that. So there are a few things about Kobe that I love. First off, it's like every kid who ever tossed, like, a fucking paper towel at a trash can.
Kobe.
Kobe.
Like, I mean, it's just like, I felt like I lost a part of my childhood. you
Yeah.
know? Like, everyone did that. You do, like, the stupid turn. It doesn't matter if you were actually a basketball player. You'd, like, turn around, do the stupid fadeaway or something, and yell Kobe in the hall. Like, we
But don't
all-
forget who Kobe took that from.
yeah, Mr.
Kareem.
That might just be you, Dan.
Oh, is that just me? Sorry, guys.
So then, right after high school, though, I had a couple buddies who played college basketball. I lost a lot of weight right after high school. I played basketball probably
Hey, good for you.
10 to 15 hours a week. And like I used to watch hours of Kobe film because I always felt like Kobe modeled his game after Michael, but Jordan was just more athletic. Like Jordan was just more physically gifted, and like Kobe was just all work ethic. And like I just remember watching hours and hours and hours, and like the dude was obsessive. Like he was just like a fucking like he only lived for basketball. Like one of my favorite Kobe stories is the Lakers had like a Christmas banquet, like black tie event, and Kobe had just come off of one of his Achilles injuries. And he showed up like in sweats with his trainer. He showed up to the mandatory event, but he like did rehab work in the corner.
Yeah.
And like that type of work ethic for some reason, like I took that like way outside of basketball. Like, you know, there'd be times where I was like working on something or like going on a run or
like his preparation for the game was greater than anything else he had going on in his life.
Exactly. And so like there were plenty of ways that like I internalized that and like tried to like model some of my like work ethic after him. And then like when he died, all of a sudden you're like, dude, like this dude was a big part of my life, you know? And like you can say whatever you want. Like you can talk about the rape allegation, you can talk about him being like a shitty human, you know, or like whatever you want. But like the dude was just a big part of my life. And then like when he fucking died, I was like, what the like, God damn.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Like, and the last thing I'll say like about Kobe, like I really like seeing was like the dude was aging gracefully. Like he came from this like super punk kid who was like obsessed and competitive. And then like over the last like 4 or 5 years of his life, you got to see him and like Jordan become kind of like friends. And then you got to see him like kind of mentoring people like Kyrie Irving and like other folks in the league. You got to see him like kind of become like, not a, you know, he was a dad, and then he was kind of like moving to that like, you know, grandfather role in a way, which is I think what we all want out of life. Like we're not all trying to be like scrappy and shitty and young forever.
Oh yeah.
Like, I think like he was very high on his daughter, like being a good player, right? Like he spent a lot of his efforts into her.
Yeah,
a ton of time with her. Yeah.
Exactly. And like to hear him talk about his daughter, like he was like, she's better than I ever was.
Yeah.
You know,
They were like best friends.
Yeah. And so like, and then that portion of it, you know, like when they like went out together, it almost felt like fate in a way.
Yeah.
You know? The two humans that were closest, you know, in his life. I don't know. Kobe's my number one. Sorry to
solid number one.
That's a good number one. And I considered him. I couldn't throw any NBA into mine just because I was never an avid watcher of the NBA, even though I enjoy watching it. But in terms of honorable mentions, MJ was one who came to mind for me just because when we were growing up as kids in the 90s, I mean, who didn't just fantasize about being a player on the Chicago Bulls?
He was a staple.
And then you throw Space Jam into the mix.
Yeah, he's dunking on the Monstars.
Oh my God! I mean, well, that was the thing, right? So St. Louis doesn't have basketball, so the closest thing that we had closest to us was Michael Jordan and the Bulls.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is funny because even as a St. Louis kid, where you have this like animosity towards Chicago, like Jordan transcended that.
He did. Yeah, he really did.
Big time.
Jordan, Pippen. Yep.
Yeah. For sure.
And this is way sidebar, but I thought it was really cool that Space Jam paid homage to North Carolina and saying that he wore his North Carolina shorts under his Chicago Bulls uniform as good luck. I thought that was kind of a nice touch.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about that. Like when's the last time you watched Space Jam?
It's on Netflix right now.
I watched it as research today.
Did you?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Dan, what you got? What's your top five?
Before I do my top five, I'd like to say it's nice that we've got 2 Cardinals in the corner and then 2 Blues in the corner.
Oh.
Ooh.
I see what you're saying.
You seen that?
Left side's the Cardinals, right side's the Blues.
Strong side.
Left side.
I forgot my joke. I was definitely, as my number one, I was going to say Julius Campbell, starting defensive player for the TC Williams High School left side strong side, coming in at a number one.
All right, so I've got my top 5 list here. Number 5. I know we might go back and forth with this, but I'm going to go ahead and throw it to you anyway. Sometimes not regarded as a sport, but definitely.
What is happening?
Hold on.
Ping pong champion.
No,
Forrest Gump.
And no, it's not.
Hot dog guzzling.
Oh,
No.
Joey
They-
Chestnut.
No. They are tremendous athletes, and that's why I put him on my list because he's got a special place in my heart. I grew up with the guy. You guys know him as the Texas Rattlesnake. It's Stone Cold Steve Austin
Wow.
I count that.
as a wrestler.
Yeah.
We had no wrestlers on the panel here.
That's it. Okay.
I know. I really thought about that, and I know a lot of people don't
He's
say
an
wrestling.
athlete. He's an athlete.
Well, that's what I thought. We said pro athletes, so
It's
I thought,
entertainment.
it's entertainment. I grew up with the guy. Boy, him coming out, wrestling The Rock and wrestling pretty much anyone, but coming out with the beers before he.
You know
before
what time it is? You know what time it is? It's 3:16.
Oh,
Three. No, it's not. It's 8:24.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Hey.
boys.
I'll tell you what. There was nothing like late '90s wrestling.
Late '90s wrestling was incredible.
Monday Night Raw was my jam.
and
I
it
watched it like a
wouldn't
soap opera.
it wouldn't have been what it was without Austin 316.
Yeah,
He's
he was
Stone Cold.
He was another guy that was like a face of his industry.
Oh,
Oh,
totally.
he was him, The Rock. I mean, I guess you-
Goldberg.
oh my God,
I
Gold.
was his Sting fan. I didn't really watch like wrestling that much, but like Sting.
Tyler,
was,
I'm so glad you said that.
My
Because
brother was
Sting
big on
was
Sting.
my favorite.
Sting was my dude. Like coming down from the raft.
Is he your number 4? Is he your
Hold
number
on.
4?
Hold on.
Wait a
Sting
minute.
was- Dan? Can I finish?
Hey, I'm not your wife.
Can I finish?
So
That,
Sting
that would have
was
happened hours ago. So I mean, like,
Sting was my favorite, but Stone Cold with the beer smacks, entering the ring,
Oh,
gets on the turnbuckles. He had such a way with his showmanship. He has to be your favorite.
Oh, he's great.
iconic.
He's great.
It was
Iconic for the sport. He really was. So that's my number 5.
And that leather
Uh,
vest. But go
Oh
on.
my God, his leather vest. I actually went to a wrestling match and bought a Stone Cold shirt at, I guess it was Savas at the time. Might have been the Kiel. It might have been the Kiel Center actually,
Well, that's a
back in the
throwback.
90s.
You
Yeah,
still have it?
throw-
Because I know it was an XL. We all wore baggy shirts back then.
Actually, I don't think I have it. It said "Kill 'em all, let Stone Cold sort 'em out," and it was a little play on the devil.
Nice.
Oh, kill them all.
Number
huh?
number 4. So this guy holds a special place. Brett Favre. Yep, he's coming in at number 4.
My man. Oh, and his number.
Number 4 on his jersey. Number 4 on my list. I got a lot of family from Green Bay, the Green
You
Bay
do.
area.
Interesting. Yeah, you do.
I do. And we would go up there periodically throughout my younger years and kind of hang out with them. And we actually went to a pep rally at Lambeau Field in the parking lot. It was like
Is
all
that
these
what
like,
they call it? They call it a pep rally.
Oh.
Or was it a tailgate?
No. It wasn't a tailgate. It wasn't before a game. It was literally like they brought in all these like blow up things and like you could run through like this like cheese that was all blown up and you
Did you
could
go
try
to Discovery Zone before the game?
You would think so. Throwback Discovery Zone.
You're just like, hey boys, do you want to go to the pep rally tonight?
No, I was
The Green
like
Bay
no.
pep rally.
No,
I was like
know.
6 or 7. It was
Yeah,
like
you
a
were young. Yeah, you were young.
yeah, really young. You could like try to throw a football. It was really cool. So, but I just remember watching Brett Favre just sling the football back when I was little.
Slinging it all over the field, huh?
Oh, he was slinging. So he's my number 4. We're gonna go number 3, and nobody else mentioned him, and I'm a little surprised because he was really the face of the Cardinals for a while. I feel like, and probably one of the most exciting times in Cardinal baseball.
Can we
Mr.
guess? Hold on. Mark McGuire.
Big Mac.
Mark McGuire.
Mark
Big Mac
McGuire.
land right there for you. Number 3.
Fernando Tatis.
His
4
race was
grand slams.
his
Four.
race with
Four.
Sammy Sosa trying to get to what was it 70 home
62
runs.
was the record.
62.
62 at the time.
Race
he
to
got- but he
62.
got to
61 was the record.
Okay,
70 was,
but he got to
was-
70.
70 was 1998.
The race with Sammy Sosa was one of the most exciting
It was.
races I've seen in baseball because it was like every time you turned on the TV, Mark McGuire was hitting a home run.
It was,
although
it was so
it-
captivating.
Where,
Oh my
where
God,
were
you
you when he
couldn't-
hit 62? Was everyone listening or watching live?
Oh, for
Oh,
sure.
absolutely.
Absolutely. 100%.
On the
It was-
couch,
because
ready
it was
to
62
scream.
62 was a day game, right? Like we.
Yep.
If I believe so.
I remember listening to the radio with my grandpa on a day game, and like when
Short to left field.
Yeah,
Short
just
to left.
barely cleared the wall.
Uh-huh.
Short to left field.
Okay, and also
Thanks for the confirm, Mike.
Can we
Was it
rest
two?
Joe Buck?
Oh,
Oh, my man.
R.I.P. Jack Buck.
All right, Jack.
Hey, Jack,
Buck.
did Joe die?
No,
Just his
Joe-
career.
Sorry.
When he started doing
Just
NFL.
his relevance. Just his relevance.
Yeah.
Jack Buck, get up. Like, oh.
So, yeah, Mark McGuire. I mean, watching that race with Sammy Sosa was just, like Danny said, it was captivating. So,
I feel
That's
like
my
I
number.
Remember, I thought I remember Miss Carter said we could have a free dress day if McGuire hit 62.
We did.
Yeah, and I think we got
Is
a free
that
dress
right?
day that next day. I believe so.
Yep.
oh,
I-
throwing back to the old principle.
Because I think that excited me more than the record itself.
So I've tried explaining this to people that aren't from St. Louis. Like, after living in DC and like KC and Austin, like I've tried to explain to people like what Cardinal baseball's like.
Yeah.
And
It's hard.
it's hard. Like you can't like explain to someone who's not from St. Louis like what opening day feels like in St. Louis, because like as soon as pitchers and catchers
It's like a
report,
holiday.
it's a holiday. It really, really is. And then like, but what you're saying is like, you know, if he hit 62, like we get a free dress day,
Yeah.
like that type of shit. Like in St. Louis, if you like are like, oh, I missed class yesterday, but my parents took me to the ball game, they're like, awesome. You know, like, you know, we won, like that's great.
Mike has a steel trap for that stuff, man. You remembered that we
I
had
don't
a
know
free
why.
dress day
Oh, yeah, he
after
does.
he broke the record, and I could not remember that, but now that you say it, I remember it.
Yeah. I have no idea
But
why.
That's St. Louis for you. And I will say this, after living a bunch of places, St. Louis is one of the only towns where baseball is like at the top. You know, like
Mhm.
in most other cities, you know,
Oh,
they're
sure.
either competing sports teams or their baseball team's just not good.
Well,
you know,
we only
like,
have 2 pro sports teams, so
we
it's
only
kind
have
of
2
hard.
pro sports teams.
But like
and-
football, I feel like is like the major for like the major cities.
Yeah.
Like football is like their go-to.
Or even like a city like Boston, which like loves their, you know, or Chicago, like cities that love their sports, but like, you know, you have all these competing interests with the Bruins and the Celtics, et cetera. But like St. Louis is like a baseball town.
Yeah.
Like,
For sure.
Right.
It's a baseball town.
Well,
It-
we're
it-
trying to be a hockey town now. Come on.
What do you got here, Dan? You moving on to hockey on your list?
Oh, let me tell you about my number 2 pick here, fellas. Some know him as the Chopper. Number 2.
My man.
Al
Al
McInnes.
McInnes.
Big Al. Big Al wears number 2. If you guys don't know about that on St. Louis Blues, we have retired his number. Ever since I was little, my kind of like Mike with Brett Hall, my number is December 2nd of my birthday.
Really?
It is, yeah. And Al McInnes wore number 2. So that old famous slap shot, watching him throughout the 90s,
And he's one of like the good guys of hockey. Like
he just seems like
He's
a
a-
nice guy.
he
Hey
is. He's
guys, he
genuinely a
just
nice
did it
guy.
again in the All-Star game. 100.6
Stop.
miles an hour.
100.4.
He did it. Oh, whatever.
104.
With the same stick.
Give me the
Yeah.
wood stick.
Give me the wood stick. I'm slapping it again at what, 60? No way.
Wow.
So he's number 2 on my list.
That's great. He had the most feared slap shot in the league at that
Oh,
time.
Oh
yeah.
my God. Everyone moved out of the way.
It
Just-
was.
Tossing
You
up
knew it was-
clappers.
You
You don't-
knew it was coming. They called
you
him
did not
Chopper
wanna
for the
catch that.
reason. No.
Did not want to catch it.
He was one of the reasons why I was such a fan of the Blues in the 90s. That's where my love kind of started. And number 1,
Here we go.
sticking with the theme of the Blues, the reason why I'm such a big Blues fan, wore the hat tonight right there, the old third logo in the 90s. Should have been, but it wasn't. It was the patch on the arm. He was the goaltender from 95 to 98.
My man.
Nickname Coco. We're going to call my man into the studio with us.
Well,
Anyone?
I don't. Grant Fuhr.
Grant Fuhr.
I thought you had him ready to go on the call.
Yeah.
Grant Fuhr.
Grant, are you there?
No, man, I wish he would come in. I've reached out to him. Oh, my God. Grant Fuhr in the 90s was lights out. I actually met him at a meet and greet at a car dealership my dad took me to. And he was the nicest guy. I haven't met very many celebrities, so I can't compare him to, but we met him, and he was so nice, such a genuine guy. He's always been my top celebrity. If I had to have a beer with anybody, it would be Grant Fuhr.
I'll tell you what. He looks like a tan Bob Hoskins. He played Smee.
Rest in peace, Bob.
Mhm.
He actually died.
That's solid. That's solid.
Yeah.
Tyler, did you say you had a boxer in your honorable mentions earlier?
Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali. So I've got a question for you. Would you rather fight Mike Tyson in the ring, sanctioned event, one time
In his prime?
in his prime, or
Oh no.
talk like him for the rest of your life?
Shit.
Well, if I fight him, I'm going to talk like him. For the
That's
rest
what I thought. That was my reaction. It's like somehow he'll just whack you in the head and make you silly enough to sound like him for the rest of his life.
Is this a 12-round fight?
Yeah, sanctioned event, or you might just get knocked out. In
Are
like
we-
one-
Here's the thing. I'm getting
Are
knocked
we
out in the
act-
first, and I'm
Yeah,
calling
are we
it.
acting like I'm not going to be out in the first round? Like,
There's no way you're going with it.
How long can I run around the ring?
I was
going
gonna
to
say I'm doing laps.
dude, I've been running a lot lately, so it's just like I'm just going to be just like cruising in circles back.
But
and forth.
even in his prime, that man was in super great shape. He's going to catch you, and you're going down.
I'm telling
Forget
you right
about
now,
in his prime. Even now,
That
have you seen
belt-
videos of him
Oh my
online
God.
lately?
He still throws them like the best of them.
Jesus.
that
Dude.
bell rings. I'm knocking myself out.
dude, that,
I'm done.
boom,
I give up.
Boom,
Yeah.
boom.
Mike,
White
I got
flag.
it. I got it, Mike.
I've never
Hey,
understood.
we're both
that.
Mikes.
Dan, you're right. Like, if you like, there was a video a couple of weeks ago. He was like behind some bar, like ducking and weaving,
Yep.
and then like the core rotation on his body punches, it's just like pop, pop.
He's
And you're
so
like, what the-
fast. You can't even see it.
dude. It's
Oh,
unreal.
yeah.
No, if you're gonna take a like, I don't know what amount of money I'd assign to like me taking a body punch or like a
Oh,
punch to the
God.
face from Mike
Good.
Tyson. Like it would be a high sum. Like like it's not gonna be like $100,000. It'd be like, dude, like up that shit immediately.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna take the one fight in the ring, hoping I don't talk like him for the rest of my life after he knocks me out.
Yeah.
No, I mean, if nothing else, like you get to tell your buddies, you're like, dude, I took a punch to the face from fucking Mike Tyson. Like you'll be like 95, you're like on your deathbed, and they're like, Grandpa, tell me something valuable. You're like, dude, like I took a punch to the face from Mike Tyson.
Like that. I'll be 31 on my deathbed because you just punched me in the face.
I have an unrelated to sports would you rather.
Okay.
Would you rather there be a ding sound every time you wink,
Ooh.
or a cartoon gun sound off every time you do finger guns?
The wink, 100%. Like if
I
I could
agree.
wink and there'd just be like that like resonant ding, like my game at bars would increase like 300%.
It like goes over the volume, like the ambient volume.
Exactly.
At the
Like
bar.
all of a sudden I just wink at a girl and all of a sudden she just hears
Oh.
like the bum.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm going to agree with that because the first time I do finger guns, I'm going to jail. Somebody's going to think I just lit up a Walmart.
You are white. We are most prone to being like,
what the hell happened?
Yeah, but I don't wink that often. But if I do, you're right. I want that little ding to go off.
I'm going to go with the finger guns. I can't remember the last time I gave anyone the finger guns.
But if
When
you
you
got a sound
do-
effect to go with it, you'd be doing it all day.
So isn't that good? I'll
That's
go with the
good. I'm going
Yeah, I'm
finger
gonna-
guns.
I'm going
Ooh.
finger guns.
I feel like that's asking for trouble.
Think about it. You make a
in
putt.
today's-
You make you're out golfing. You make a putt.
No, I don't think it's pew pew. I think it's a gunshot.
Pow.
Yeah. Everybody's,
pow.
everybody's hitting the deck. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to night school? Yeah, guess what? I'm going to jail.
Oh, guess what? I'm a red dot. Oh, whoops.
Well, that was fun. Good top 5 list, guys.
Yeah.
It was a good top 5 list. I got one more question before we get into it. And this is kind of a thinker. So if you're on death row, what is your last meal? And we've done this before.
Ooh.
And it's a tough convo. But what is the last meal that you're choosing?
I'll just give you mine right now, right off the top of my head. The first thing that came to my mind, because that's how this is structured.
You
I'm
know
not going to
it?
spend a lot of time. I'm not going to spend a lot of time.
Give it to me.
I'm going sausage and pepperoni pizza from Peroni's with a side salad. Give me some
Wow.
beers. Give me some beers. That's it.
Is-
That's
is your-
right off the top.
Is your sister like the server that night? Like, is
In
I-
jail. Is she delivering it in jail?
Here you
I
go.
hope all I hope is that she gave me a discount.
Okay. So,
The discount is not death because
all right,
you're
Mike,
on death
you're
row.
next.
Me? Oh God. I guess if I had to pick, oh man, I can't go.
It's
next.
tough.
I'm not ready. Dan, you go. You had time to think about this.
I've got one. If we have to go and like give you time,
You're
Yeah.
going. Yeah, go
Gut-
ahead.
I'm gonna go just like Dan, like gut instinct. First thing, my mom used to make this like meal growing up where she would like take a baked potato and put like carrots and onions and like ground beef and like Worcestershire sauce and like all that shit like in foil.
Ooh, just
Oh.
like just like a shipwrecked potato type thing. Just
Exactly.
like everything
It's
in the
a
tinfoil.
it's a loaded potato.
Exactly, with like ground beef and like
Oh
all
God.
Oh, it was amazing. She'd put it in like tin foil. It's like everyone had their own one, and that was like
Ooh.
That
that was a
sounds good.
meal that we did a lot growing up. And for some reason, like that was the first thing that came to mind. It's like I'm on death row. Like I want that. Like
I want that potato.
Sidebar from that. Do you guys remember when Travis made the baked potato at Kyle's house and he put everything in the pantry in it? Like I'm pretty sure he put Captain Crunch in it.
Toasted
Oh my God.
raviolis.
Oh
There
God.
it was the most elaborate baked potato.
He was like, "This looks good. Throw it in there."
Travis, who
Travis Downey. Our,
Downey? Okay.
Yeah.
yeah, Kyle's cousin.
Oh,
he
man.
loaded this spud up like nobody's business.
What do you got, Mike?
Buddies. I guess if I had to pick. So Dan's family makes this. It's called Ritzy Chicken.
You mother.
Is that yours?
It's mine.
Dude, it's so good.
So both of you
Oh.
tag team. Tell us about it. Both of you right now.
Dan, explain it.
You guys.
You know
so
it
it's
better.
it's from my grandma. It's a recipe my grandma makes. It's called Ritzy Chicken, and
Which
it's
grandma?
Grandma Sue. God
Okay.
love her soul.
That gem.
She made this recipe. It's called Ritzy Chicken, and it's basically it's a casserole. So it's a wet casserole, right? So it's like it's chicken, it's sour cream, it's cream of chicken as well, and it's all mixed together. And you top it with buttered Ritz crackers,
Oh my God.
right? And you bake it in the oven, and it just gets all hot and gooey. And then you pour it over a bed of white rice. Oh my
it's
God!
so hearty and like it just
Sounds good.
it's
And by
so
hearty,
good.
You mean like your heart stops?
Yeah.
Your heart is gone. You don't
Well,
have
it's
one
your
anymore.
last meal, so
Oh,
what's,
yeah,
what's
what-
better?
It
I'm
is
going out.
okay.
Like who cares?
Going out.
It
Leave the
is
tray.
so good. It's so creamy. It goes with the rice. I mean, it's a perfect spread over the rice.
Yeah.
It's just that has to be. And
I'll
I'm
give
so
you a-
glad.
I'll give you a perfect spread.
There he is. There is my man right there. It would be such a good last meal. That and a nice, no sponsorship, Busch Light.
Ooh.
Yeah, that is going to be our goal. Like we're going to get you sponsored by Busch Light. Like, I mean,
Man,
like,
that would be the
when
best.
when we're talking like a year in advance, like we're gonna get you sponsored.
Let's just get you
Sponsored
some Busch
by
Light posters.
AD. Oh man, I should get some. But yeah,
Well,
that
this
would
was-
be mine. Apparently Mike's. Mike, what are you drinking with your last meal? Is it a Natty Light?
Ooh. I do appreciate a good Natty Light. Yeah, I'll go Natty Light.
Okay.
That's solid.
If I'm gonna die, it's gonna be like if someone put a gun to my head and be like, "You have to die with like one drink in your hand." It's probably gonna be a Budweiser, like a Bud Heavy. I'm just
Okay.
Straight
die.
Bud Heavy.
I'm a fan.
Oh, it's a good beer. Dan?
One beer in hand. I'll go Budweiser. I'll go Bud Heavy.
Bud
Yep.
Heavy. Really?
Yep.
I
I
guess
get
if
some
I'm-
flack for that.
I think I've previously named that a desert island beer for me.
I mean, it's just like it's
not
sentimental.
for me.
It's like from where we're from. I'm not even gonna say Bud Heavy is my favorite beer, but I'm just
Nope.
gonna
Yeah.
say, like, just being from where we're from, like all the history, like Bud Heavy, like put a
Oh.
gun to your head, here we go.
I could be behind
Oh.
that.
Boys,
It's a good beer. That's
Yeah.
F2.
solid app.
That's
Yeah.
F2 right there.
Thanks for joining us, Tyler.
Yeah,
Cheers,
appreciate
man.
it.
Such a fucking pleasure.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Another great app.
Another good app. So we want to thank everybody for tuning in to our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter feeds. We're going to have some polls up so everybody can kind of vote on the questions. Thanks for voting on the questions before. We're going to have some more up. If you do want to get a hold of us, we are at a top5pod@gmail.com. And go ahead and like and subscribe this video, and we'll see you next episode.
Hey,
Yeah,
thanks a
appreciate
lot,
it.
guys.
We
Thanks,
appreciate it.
Tyler.
Yeah,
Thanks,
Thanks for
Tyler.
having me on.
Thanks again, Tyler.
Bye.
Bye.
Cheers.
And that was a Top 5 podcast. Find us on the socials at a Top 5 Pod. And don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.